Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.
Islam, a religion of submission and peace. For the past 3 decades, its growth in America has been astonishing. The Muslim community in this country, now estimated at about 5 million, has not only expanded numerically, but also socially, economically, and culturally. And nowhere has this growth been more evident than in the city of Long Beach. Located on the California coastline just south of Los Angeles, this beautiful oceanfront city is host to one of America's most progressive Muslim communities. MASJID al-Sharif, acclaimed for its beauty and richness by all of Southern California, services Muslims from many countries. Its unique blend of indigenous and immigrant followers may best exemplify the rapid growth of Islam in America. These two different but important Islamic cultures at MASJID al-Sharif are working jointly to forge ahead towards the 21st century. They collectively represent many aspects of Muslim personality and experiences of history together in one ummah. The resident imam of this proud community is Haroon Abdullah, and according to those who attend MASJID al-Sharif, he is the man responsible for this remarkable accomplishment.
Imam Abdullah has always been let me say, the designated driver. The person who provided the trailblazing here locally, and working with all people, he understood that Islam had no particular color restriction or guidelines, that it was for everyone. And with that patience and perseverance, it drew people to MASJID al-Sharif. He drew people to MASJID al-Sharif who felt comfortable here, who had never, in fact, been involved with any other nationality but their own. And they came here, they felt the warmthness, they felt like there weren't restrictions on them, they felt that there was love and true brotherhood here. And they'd come once, they'd come again, they'd tell their friends, and now we have a masjid that has people from all over the world and all walks of life.
I am from Egypt, another brothers from America, another brothers from India, from Pakistan, from Syria. He respect everybody, he deal with everybody the same, and he care too much about the community here. And he never deal brother better than another brother. What his concern, he like the whole community good, the masjid doing okay, and he's doing his best, and we love him and we respect him too much.
We have people from Saudi Arabia, from Pakistan, from India, from Bangladesh, from China, you name it. There are people here, and we has befriended us, we have befriended them. And I try to treat everybody like I would like to be treated myself. And I guess maybe that had something to do with it, but I think that most of it is a blessing from Allah.
Imam Haroon Abdullah is a well-known pioneer in the African-American Muslim community. He accepted Islam in 1959 under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who played a crucial role in opening the minds of African Americans to their lost heritage of al-Islam.
When I was first introduced to the religion of al-Islam, I was already in the church. I was chairman of the deacon board in the New Hope Baptist Church, and I did a lot of work there. in the church because I always believed in God, because our parents taught us this, and my mother and father would make us go to church, serve God the best we knew how. And I tried to do that. And hearing about a little man, they said, this is what they wanted to say, you need to go hear this little man by the name of Elijah Muhammad. And he's teaching the black man about himself, how to love himself and, and do for himself. He said, you need to go hear him. I said, well, who is this man? Where this man come from? He said, this man is out of Chicago. He said, he the baddest black man ever walked the shores of North America. Well, that struck me. How can this one man, little man, be the baddest black man in America? And the white man hasn't done anything to him. So I wanted to go hear this man. But he hadn't got here yet. He sent one of his ministers out here, by the Minister Lucius B.R. And also Minister Malcolm was here at the time. He came into the city that day. And they had a meeting up at where MASJID Bilal is now. It used to be the Elks Hall. We rented that place and had the meeting there. And when he was ministers at that time, Minister Lucius B.R. got to speaking on the Bible and speaking about, one God, and speaking about that we was not Negroes and colored people and all this. We was just black men, coming from our homeland, brought here. Didn't come on our own, but was brought here and put into slavery for 400 years and denied us of the religion, even the religion of Christianity, for over 300 and some odd years before they would even allow us to even read the Bible, let alone to try to be Christians, and prepare us for this. So when he come and brought all of this up, and me listening to it and thinking and about it, and at the time he was speaking about how old people used to be, and I knew about that in the church. My mother and father and all of the older people, when I was a young man, used to sing the song, "On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, represented suffering and shame. They say one day we will exchange it for a crown." And he pointed on the board, on the blackboard, he showed us the moon and the star, the crescent. And that made a whole lot of sense to me, and a lot of other things he said. I won't go into his whole talk, but just for that one setting, I stood up and accepted religion right away and came right out of Christianity into Al-Islam under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And right away coming into the community, I was so elated on how it wasn't but a few brothers, and how the brothers would stand at attention and stand with their feet close together and was able to do about face without even stumbling, and was so unique, and everybody looked pretty beautiful, and the kind words and the unity that we had, it really was impressive. So when soon as he asked all of those who would want to accept the religion to please stand, I popped up to my feet. A deacon of the church, chairman of the deacon board, jumped up into another religion within a few minutes and ready to give up something that I'd had ever since 1937 as a boy. And with all of those years going through that religion, and I practiced it the best of my ability, and when I heard this one talk, one sermon by this minister, I right away accept. And when I went home, I was so angry till my wife had thought I had lost my mind, because I started telling her, I said, I'm not going to church anymore. I'm not going to pray to Jesus anymore, because Jesus is not God, because the minister made it plain. Jesus is not God. Jesus is just a human being like anybody else. Only thing different, he was a prophet of God, one of the major prophets of God. God was one. And after hearing all of that, It just made me angry because I had all these years was praying to Jesus, whom I thought was the Son of God, but come to find out he was the prophet of God. And that made me angry for me to be a fool or to taught that way, and I felt that it wasn't the right way. So Islam really was attractive to me.
In 1975, Imam W. Deen Muhammad took over leadership of the then called Nation of Islam, in a move that would forever change the history of Islam in America. Imam Abdullah reflects on how he felt during that transition.
I felt good because I knew he would be the one who would be the leader after his father, because it was already taught. There was so many hints about it that one day he was going to be a great help to his father. And we, many of us who knew this, knew that it was no one else to take that responsibility after the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad but his son, Imam Haroon Muhammad, who was known then as Wallace.
Upon embracing the true concept of Islam, in 1977, Imam Abdullah traveled across the world to Saudi Arabia and fulfilled the fifth pillar of Islam, Hajj.
I was so happy with that, I kept pinching myself. How did this happen? Here I am in the area where the Prophet walked. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has walked, and the righteous people have walked and got a chance to be in this area and to be able to make that move, which is one of the last principles of Islam, is for to make the Hajj once in your lifetime, if so able. And that was a beautiful sight for me to be able to go in that area and to make my 7 dwarfs around the Kaaba and to run between the two mountains of Marwaf and Sawaf, and then go into Mount Arafat and stay there, and then come back up to Muzdalifah, and then get the stones and come back up to Mina, and then go out and stone Shaitan, and then to go and to visit the Masjid, the Prophet's Masjid in the city of Medina, which is one of the beautifulest masjids I ever seen in my life. And the city of Medina is so beautiful, so warm. If I had to live, if I want to live anywhere in Saudi Arabia, that would be the city that I would like to live in.
The remodeling of Masjid al-Sharif played an important role in establishing the Long Beach Muslim community. This two-story edifice features a Moroccan-style design, complete with newly built-in wudu stations. Ahmed Safir, who was the contractor for this massive job, talks about the remodeling.
Well, Imam Abdullah took his keyed off of Imam Haroon Muhammad when he indicated that the Moroccan kind of look, and then from there we just put our heads together to come up with the right design for this particular building, with help from several architects. And when it boiled down, we got the precise one that fit the type of building we had, because the Imam Haroon Muhammad said, keep it a square building. Square buildings are best suited to be masjids. And that's what we went on the track to turn this into a completed masjid.
Of course, no masjid is complete without its minaret. And at Masjid al-Sharif, that was the crowning moment.
All the brothers came on a Saturday and said, and now it's time to stand the minaret up. And we took it, and must have been 50 brothers, took that minaret and guided it with ropes until it stood tall. That was a very important day for Masjid al-Sharif.
It brought tears to my eyes, like right now. Just to think about it, it really moves me. Because Allah, it was so beautiful that we was able to, brothers here in the masjid and all of us working together to make this change in this building. And by us doing this, the city was elated, because the city planners knew this building before we did this. And while we was down there at a meeting one time, it was getting together to make some changes, and this property was across the street from the property across the street over there. that they needed to do something. So the people from the community was there to talk to the planners to make it possible for them to make the changes that they needed to make over there. And I was trying to support them. And I mentioned about this. In fact, I went to mention about the building. I said, this corner has been improved. Across the street, I said, the building that we're in, our place of worship, one of the planners say, Mr. Abdullah, say you need commending for what you have done, y'all have done to that building down there on 21st and on. He said, I used to pass that. I know what the building was before you did it. He said, it's beautiful. It's a sight to see for the city to see.
I think the major accomplishment for Imam Abdullah, in my estimation, is that quite naturally we're very happy that the masjid itself is paid for. But I think the major accomplishment and what I can see in Imam Abdullah is that he is a genuine friend to all of humanity. I've watched him, he treats everybody the same. And I can only think of another person that I met that struck me as that kind of person, and that was Imam Warith Muhammad. In 1982, I had an opportunity to be with him for approximately 5 or 6 days here in Los Angeles and Compton area with Imam Abdul Karim Hassan. And Imam Warith Muhammad was one who struck me as a person that was sincerely genuine, a person that you can feel comfortable with, and Imam Abdullah has that same characteristics.
Imam Abdullah's keen insight has helped make Masjid al-Sharif a place for Muslims from all around the world. And it's clear that this community thinks very highly of him.
Imam, I've known Imam for I've had the opportunity of knowing Imam for the last year and a half. I've become pretty close to him. A very honest person, very knowledgeable, always there when you need somebody to talk to, very friendly, open man, and very trustworthy.
Well, Imam Haroon Abdullah is a person who's honest and dedicated, and he reminded me of a person like my parents. He was the type of person you could depend on, you could come to for advice, and you always felt like you were getting him, the real person. So I would have to think it was that if you're around him, you will appreciate him and you will have confidence in him.
I'm very pleased to see a lot of people like him who were in the beginning were non-Muslim, and then when they convert into Muslim, it's glad to see them, and then they get more information or more knowledge into Islam to come and perform as an imam over here. It's really I'm very happy to see that.
The tireless work of Imam Haroon Abdullah is the cornerstone of his success at Masjid al-Sharif. But Masjid Secretary John Middleton says it's more than just that.
He has been able to keep this masjid open, integrated. He's allowed other different immigrants from all the different parts of the world to come into here, and also he has allowed some of them to give khutbahs on Friday. In other words, he has not taken his imam position and just hoard it and be stingy with it and trying to keep all the success for himself. He has, by him giving it out and sharing it with others, has brought him what I think is a very successful masjid.
Well, I think in the beginning when I came here, there was not that much I noticed, but gradually, starting from 1970 and now, there's a big difference because there's a lot of difference. People are more involved. They're practicing more towards Islam, and the new generation or the first generation of the kids who are born over here, I think they're more educated or have more knowledge or trying to get more knowledge of Islam, and they question us about. They just don't accept it, but they also ask questions, and they are like in fact they're like a true Muslim type. They are following Islam very well, and I've seen them performing namaz and reading Quran, and I think the future is very good, and it seems to me like there's a new surge coming up, and I noticed there's more growth of Islam over here now, as I have seen back home.
Backing up to this remodeling of this building, I took a heart attack in 1985. And I thought about that too, that in that heart attack, Allah blessed me to come out of that heart attack today where I can still function and still do the thing that I love, and that is to work in the religion of Al-Islam, to work in the community and try to do what I can for the community, not only for Muslims, but also for all people in the city of Long Beach.
Imam Haroon Abdullah is truly one of the great pioneers of Islam. In a long line of great pioneers, past and present, immigrant and indigenous, who are working towards the advancement of an Islamic society. For them, the road ahead is still a tough one in a country where society has grown out of control. But as Imam W. Dean Muhammad says, all you need is Islam.
All Americans can appreciate and love you if you just follow Islam. Islam is not a religion out of date. It is a religion that suits the modern needs of the most advanced society. You just have to study it, appreciate it, and have the courage to represent it. Don't think it's Muslim to be an odd fellow. It's Muslim to be a human being